Hello, my friends, and welcome to English Freedom. I hope you are having a good day and ready to learn something amazing today. If you are a person who wants to speak English easily, quickly, and naturally, then this video is perfect for you. Today, I will show you how to think in English, which is one of the best ways to become a good English speaker. We all know how hard it can be when we need to stop and change words from our first language into English before we speak. It makes us slow, makes us feel worried, and sometimes we make errors. Would it be wonderful if you could stop that changing process and just think in English right away? Well, I am here to say that you can do it. By using 3 easy steps, you can teach your mind to think straight in English, and believe me, this will help you speak much better. Before we begin, please remember to like this video and follow English Freedom if you have not done this already. This way, you will not miss any of our videos that will help you learn to speak good English. Now, let us start today's lesson, How to Think in English. Step 1. Think with action words, the power of doing words. The first step of learning to think in English is to focus on action words. Action words are the doing words in a sentence. They tell us what is happening. Why do we begin with action words? Because actions are everywhere around us, and if we can think about what is happening in English, we can begin making sentences in our minds more easily. Let us look at an example. Picture yourself walking in a busy city like London. You are standing in a big park and you see people everywhere, all doing different things. What are they doing? Some people are jogging, others are chatting. You see a child playing with a ball and someone is giving food to birds. These actions are told using action words: jog, chat, play, give. By watching the actions around you, you can begin thinking about them in English. This way of watching and finding actions is something you can do anywhere. It does not matter if you are waiting at a train station, standing at a crossing, or sitting in a restaurant. There are always actions happening around you. For example, on a busy road, you might see people moving fast, someone riding a bike, or a group of friends smiling. You can think about these actions in English: move, ride, smile. But what if you were at home where not much is happening? You can still practice thinking in action words by imagining situations or using photos. For instance, look at a picture of people at the beach. What actions do you see? Maybe they are swimming, building, or resting. Even when you are inside, you can practice finding actions by thinking about what you might do in different places. Picture yourself in your bedroom. You might be sleeping, reading, or listening to music. Key practice tip: take 5 to 10 minutes every day to practice thinking in action words. Choose a different location each day and focus on the actions happening around you. As you do this often, you will teach your mind to think about actions in English, making it easier to tell what is happening right now. Step 2. Think with thing words, naming your world. After you have practiced thinking in action words, it is time to move to thing words. Thing words are words that name people, places, objects, or ideas. Just like action words, thing words are everywhere. Everything around you has a name, and if you can think of these names in English, you will be one step closer to thinking and speaking well. Let us take an example from a different place. Picture yourself in Paris, France, standing near the famous tower. As you look around, you see the tower, the street, and many visitors taking pictures. You also see a bus on the road and some birds flying above. Each of these things is a thing word: tower, street, visitors, bus, birds. It is important to practice thinking in thing words wherever you are. If you are at a shop, you might see fruit, bread, milk, and workers. These are all thing words that tell about the objects and people around you. Even if you are just sitting in your kitchen, you can look around and find thing words. For example, you might see a window, a cup, a spoon, and a computer. Another good way to practice thinking in thing words is to think about what you carry with you. What is in your bag? Maybe you have a pen, some money, and a book. If you practice naming these objects in English, it will soon become easy. Over time, this will help you think faster and clearer in English. Key practice tip: spend some minutes each day naming the objects around you in English. Whether you are outside, at home, or even traveling, challenge yourself to identify everything in English. For instance, if you are visiting a museum, look around and name things like paintings, statues, doors, and visitors. The more you practice this, the more your mind will automatically think in English. Step 3. Think with full sentences, putting words together. Once you feel good about thinking in action words and thing words, it is time to move to the next step, thinking in full sentences. This is where you begin putting action words and thing words together to tell what is happening around you in complete sentences. At this step, it is important to begin simple. Do not worry about making long, hard sentences. Just focus on making short, clear sentences that tell what you see. For example, if you are in a beautiful mountain town, you might say, "The visitors are climbing the mountain. The sun is bright. The wind is cold." These are simple, but they let you practice thinking in complete sentences. Now let us picture you are in a different city, sitting in a garden. What is happening around you? You could tell the scene like this. A family is eating lunch. The kids are running with a dog. The trees are moving in the wind. These sentences are short, but they will tell what is happening around you. As you become more comfortable, you can begin making your sentences longer. For example, if you are walking near a famous building, you might say, "A big group of visitors is taking photos of the old building. Some of them are listening to their guide, while others are looking at their phones." This sentence puts together multiple action words and thing words, giving a fuller picture of the scene. The goal here is to get used to thinking in sentences instead of just words. This will help you when you are speaking, as you will not have to stop and think about each word by itself. Your mind will automatically make sentences in English. Key practice tip: every day, take 10 to 15 minutes to tell your surroundings in sentences. Whether you are at home, in the office, or walking through a new place, try to make complete sentences in your head that tell what is happening. If you are in a coffee shop, you might say, "The server is making coffee. 2 people are talking at the next table. A man is using his computer." This practice will make thinking in English much more natural. Step 4. Think in full stories, bringing everything together. The final step is to move from thinking in sentences to thinking in full stories. This means telling everything around you in more detail, making a full story, or creating a more clear picture of the scene. Picture yourself visiting a famous castle. Here is how you might tell it in a full story. "I am standing outside the old castle, and the view is beautiful. The hills go on as far as I can see, and the walls go around the big yard. There are visitors all around me taking photos and walking through the gates. I can hear people speaking in different languages, and there is a warm wind blowing through the air. The stones are old and the walls are thick from hundreds of years of weather." In this story, you have put together everything: action words like walking and speaking, thing words like visitors, hills, and walls, and sentences to create a full telling of the scene. By practicing this, you will begin thinking in English more naturally. You will not just be making short sentences, you will be able to tell things in full detail. Let us take another example. Picture yourself walking through a busy street market. You might tell the scene like this: "The market is full of people, all busy buying things and talking with the sellers. I can smell the fresh bread in the air, and the bright colors of the clothes and flowers catch my eye. A woman is selling fruit from a small table, and groups of visitors are taking pictures. The sound of people talking and laughing fills the air, and the feeling is happy and full of energy. When you practice thinking in full stories like this, you are teaching your mind to tell events and scenes in complete detail without stopping to change from your first language. This step is very important because it helps you not only think in English, but also express your thoughts in a more connected and smooth way. By focusing on making full stories, you can talk more naturally and for longer times, which is key when you want to become really good at English. Let us take one more example to practice. Picture yourself sitting in a quiet library. Here is how you might tell the scene in a full story. I am sitting at a big wooden table near the tall windows, reading my book quietly. The library is peaceful and calm, with soft lights shining on the many books. Outside, I can see people walking slowly on the street. The air is cool, and it looks like it might get cloudy soon. Inside, a few people are studying at different tables, and someone is looking for books on the tall shelves. The smell of old books fills the air, and the feeling is quiet and restful. In this story, you have put together all the parts, action words, thing words, and sentences to create a clear picture of the scene. This is the final step of thinking in English, where you can tell situations in detail just as you would in your first language. Key practice tip. Take some minutes to tell your day in a full story. Start from when you woke up and think about everything that happened. What did you do? Where did you go? Who did you meet? Try to tell it all in English. For example, today was a busy day. I woke up late and went for a quick walk in my neighborhood. The weather was cold and I saw many people going to work. After that, I had breakfast at a small place near my house. I asked for tea and bread. Later, I went to my job and had a meeting with my boss. We talked about our new plan and everyone had good ideas. In the evening, I met my sister for dinner at a nice restaurant. We had a wonderful time talking about our family and sharing stories about our week. This type of daily practice will not only help you think in English, but also make your ability to remember and tell events in detail much better. Putting everything together, getting really good through practice. By now, you should have a clear understanding of the 3 steps of thinking in English. 1. Think in action words. Focus on doing words and tell what is happening around you. 2. Think in thing words. Name the people, places, and objects you see around you. 3. Think in full sentences. Put action words and thing words together to make short, simple sentences. 4. Think in full stories. Bring everything together to create detailed tellings of scenes and events. Each of these steps builds on the one before it, helping you develop the ability to think directly in English without needing to change languages. It is important to practice each step often, as this will teach your mind to process information in English more naturally. Why thinking in English is so important for getting good. Now that you understand the steps, let us talk about why this method works so well. When you first begin learning English, you probably change from your first language. This is normal, but it creates a delay in your speaking. Instead of speaking smoothly, you have to pause and think about what to say, which can make you feel less sure of yourself. By practicing thinking in English, you remove that changing step. Your thoughts will naturally form in English, making your speech faster and smoother. When you can think in English, you will also find it easier to have conversations, express your ideas, and answer quickly in discussions. For example, picture you are at a job meeting and someone asks you to tell about a difficult situation you had at work. If you are thinking in your first language, you might need a moment to change your thoughts into English. But if you have taught yourself to think in English, you can answer right away and with confidence, without waiting. The same is true for everyday conversations. Whether you are talking with friends, giving a presentation, or even asking for food at a restaurant, being able to think in English will make everything much smoother. Easy exercises to help you think in English. Now that you have learned the steps, here are some easy exercises you can do to get better at thinking in English. 1. Daily watching. Spend 10 to 15 minutes each day watching your surroundings and telling them in English. Whether you are on the bus, at the park, or walking through your neighborhood, challenge yourself to tell everything you see using action words, thing words, and sentences. 2. Picture telling. Find a photo from a magazine, website, or your own photo collection. Look at the picture closely and tell everything you see in English. For example, if you are looking at a picture of a mountain, you could say, "The mountain is very tall and the snow is white. There are some people walking on the path and some trees are growing on the sides. In the distance, I can see a small house near the river." 3. Daily writing. At the end of each day, write a short diary entry in English. Start by telling what you did that day, where you went, and who you met. As you practice, try to include more details in your tellings. 4. Talk to yourself. If you do not have anyone to practice speaking English with, you can practice by talking to yourself. Pick a topic and try to talk about it for a few minutes. For example, you could tell your favorite movie, explain how to make your favorite food, or talk about your plans for the weekend. 5. Language challenges. Challenge yourself to think in English for short times throughout the day. For example, set a timer for 5 minutes and promise to think only in English during that time. Slowly increase the time as you become more comfortable. Final thoughts. The road to getting really good. Learning to think in English is a journey, and it needs patience and practice. The more you work with the language, the more natural it will feel to think, speak, and express yourself in English. By following the 4 steps, action words, thing words, sentences, and full stories, you will build a strong foundation for getting really good at English. Remember, the key to success is doing it every day. Practice every day, even if it is just for a few minutes, and you will see improvement over time. It is normal to make mistakes along the way, but do not let that stop you. Every mistake is a chance to learn and grow. So, are you ready to take the next step on your English learning journey? Start practicing today, and soon you will be thinking in English like a person who grew up speaking it. Thank you for joining me in today's lesson on English freedom. Do not forget to like this video, follow our channel, and press the bell so you will not miss any of our upcoming lessons. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I will see you in the next lesson.